That's mine.
Oh, it's not Pasuk Chav Zayin.
I think you can get off the chair and walk over.
Aaron Uvanav.
Just really quickly, I'll take it off. Aaron Uvanav Tia the Torah. Through the mouth of Aaron his son, Tia should be the Torah. Sorry.
Kol Avodas Bnei Gershuni, the work of the sons of the Gershunites. Sons of the Gershunites. L'chol Masam, all their carrying job, task, L'chol Avodas and all their tasks. Ufkadetem Alehem B'mishmeres, shall appoint them, each one in its own work group, shall we say, each one should have its own group. Eis Kol Masam, all their carrying jobs. Okay? So let's see Rashi over here. Al-Pi Aaron Uvanov. Okay, according to Aaron and his sons, so be all the
You can switch here or switch over here.
should be all the work of the sons of Gershon. Now, so it says Aaron and his sons. Now it doesn't say which of his sons. It's not Aaron was in charge of all of them. So that's the next pasuk tells you in which of the sons was in charge of them. And it says then the next pasuk, Yadi Tsama ben Aaron Akayim. So in the hands of his son of the hands of the son of the son of Aaron.
What's the notion of P. Aaron? To me, of P. Aaron is not enough usage in the Torah of P. Aaron.
He's by the mouth of Aaron. He's according to his command.
But do we know when Aaron is doing command the Levium and other people, it's always LP?
Yeah, you say that. This is a common thing.
It is common LP? In other words, the Russian LP, Aaron. LP Moshe,
I'm just trying to think where else you have it.
That's why I don't know the place. That's why I'm asking.
You have Al-Pi Hashem many times.
Yes, but not Al-Pi Aaron. Al-Pi Moshe, maybe?
I'm just trying to think. I don't know.
It's a way of showing honour to Aaron, because it's always Moshe. They're showing a way that they're not equal, but to give them...
maybe, I don't know. Here particularly, this was a job which was specifically, because everything to do with the Mishkan, Aaron was in charge. And then he was coming over to his sons or to the Levium to be delegated the work to his sons and to the Levium.
That's a good story that was covered to Aaron.
Okay. The Rashi on the next. So Sabadas Mishpazadesh. Mishmartom Yadi Tsama means the duties, right? The work duties was in the Yadi Tsama ben Aaron was in the charge of Tsama the son of Aaron. Okay, Shlomo, pasuk Chav Tes.
Oh, that's just good. Okay, Zot Torah.
Where are you going?
You see.
Her Dalit, Rosh's Nafshi. Pasuk Chav Tes.
Oh, wait a second. You get one over. You know, okay. Bnei Merari, the Mishpach Otam, the Beit Avotam, Tifkod Otam. Then it's the sons of Merari, that in the family, which is in the house of their fathers, will be counted by you. Okay, that's
Bnei Merari. The sons of Merari, the Mishpachas are by the families, the Beis HaBeis are by the father's house, Tifkod is the Mushakah. Okay, carry on.
Even Shoshi Shana, continues above, Miyajin, until 50 Shana, they will be counted. Oh, Haba,
You shall count the Tifkod.
all those who will come to the army, or to the host. La'avod, to work, Avodat Ohel, in the tent of the meetings,
The work of the tent of meeting.
Right. work of the tent of the meeting.
Okay? No Rashi on that. Continue.
וזאת משמרת מה סעם לכל עבודתם ביוהל מועד קרשי המשכן וגריחה ביהודה והדנה. Okay, these are the pieces of things that they
This is
did.
Mishmeres Masal. This is the duty.
Like in watching guarding.
Right. This is the, shall we say, the task.
This is the task.
How should we say it? The thing. Shmeres.
The watch?
Shift. And this was shift or what's the word for it?
Their turn?
This is the job allotted to them. So this Mishmeres Masal. Right. This is the allotted duty. Allotted carrying duty.
That they would be carrying, right? And carrying
for all their work.
All their work.
In the tent of meeting.
And this would include
what is that? What are
the
they?
pieces?
Karshei Mishkan, the beams of the Mishkan.
The beams.
Uvrichov,
the bars. No, the
Vrichov are the bars.
The bars.
The Amudov and its pillars.
The poles.
The pillars, right?
The pillars. And the
no, I don't know.
The wooden.
No, wooden actually. It was silver. Adonim. What are the Adonim?
The silver covers.
No. Adonim are the sockets.
The sockets.
Silver sockets for Adonov. They actually had the heaviest job. It was extremely.
Right, the ultimate strong guys.
And not only that, it says later on in the Parsha, they got wagons to help them. They put them on, they couldn't carry it. So they put them on wagons.
Which they left from Egypt.
No, actually they made them.
Out of what? Out of the wood that they didn't have?
Wood. Later on, one said.
I know, they brought the wood that they got grew in the, for years and years before.
That's right. Where is it?
They have like wheels. They have metal wings. Like that. I think they have metal wings. Wheels.
Yeah. They were pretty
good. Sheish Eglei Sov says the princes of Israel, the leaders of the tribes, they donated Shesh Eglos Sov. Right? Six covered wagons. Shnei Sabaka, 12 cattle. Agolah Shnei Nasiim. A wagon for each two Nasiim. Donated a wagon. V'shor Echad, and each one a shor. And they brought them before the Mishkan.
The shore was
the Nasiim were for automation. Right? But everything would have been done by hand had they not had the initiative to push for automation of the carrying of the wagons. And it says Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know what to do. Right? Well, he said, Hashem said to Moshe, Kach meitam, taken from them, and you should give it these wagons to the Levium, each group of the Levium according to the work they need to carry.
To their tasks.
To their tasks. So it says over here, that's it says, Aikach Moshe Sagolos v'Sabaka, Aitene Samelavim, Eshtei Ha'agolos v'Savar Sabaka, Nasan Livnei Gershom K'vi Avedasa. They had to carry all the drapes and all the curtains and everything like that. It wasn't very heavy work, but it was quite heavy. And when you take everything together, all the materials together, it was quite heavy.
Yeah.
So they got two wagons
They
to do that.
They had a folding too.
Right, I guess so. But anyway, I'm talking about the actual transportation. I'm talking about the transportation aspect. So he says, so they took Shtei Agolos, they took the two wagons, according to the task was incumbent upon them. There's Abaya Ha'agolos, Shmona Sabaka, Nosam Livnei Merori, K'fi Avedosam Yadi Soma Ben Arenake. And so on. I turned it on. The camera is on. Okay, we're all on candid camera now, right?
So do we know how often they moved in the Midbar 40 years? Is there any statistics?
Yes, of course. Parshas Maseh.
They listed all the
Traveling.
All the closely
Yeah, most of the travels were when the 39th year. And they traveled for 20 years. And all.
That was in
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
This we speak about in a minute.
Because they needed to go through the various nations.
Here we are. Don't lose it. Page 20. Okay.
Don't lose it.
I lost it.
In the Torah it says how many travels, how many times it took
Yes, in
them?
Parshas Maseh, there were 42 traveling places, different places where they stopped. However,
In 40 years, that's not such a good job.
no, and not only that, a number of them were before even the whole story of these spies started. That was the thing. Kitzur comes out, Rashi makes a cheshbon over there, in Parshas Maseh, the Sachakol was only 20-something places where they actually traveled. It went over the 40 years, and in fact, Kodesh Barnea, they were actually there a total of 19 years.
Right,
One
which was
place.
on the
I
border.
mean, yeah, it was on the border, but they went there and then they travelled elsewhere and they came back again. They didn't stay 19 years in one shot.
But they stayed 19 years in the church and they traveled around.
No, I'm saying in that particular place, at various points over all the times they were altogether 19 years in this particular
Oh,
place.
right.
It wasn't all at one time.
When did it all came back here?
Yes, I don't know. I'm just giving you an example.
Sorry.
Yeah, they stayed there 3 years and then they travelled
right,
someplace
yeah.
else and they came back again and stayed there another 5 years.
You know the joke that Moshe Rabbeinu, like many men, did not ask instructions when he gave it to the Mikvah.
Sorry?
Many men, when they're driving, they don't like to ask instructions. They don't know where they're going, so they go, I'll find it. Moshe Rabbeinu, if he would have asked instructions, he would have wandered around for 40 years.
Wouldn't have
That's before they had ways, obviously.
Wow.
It's before they had ways.
Right, you're up to date, Bob.
See, they had the means, but they didn't have the ways.
Right.
Hey, Steve, you're pretty good then.
Okay.
What's happening in the Christmas? Get on around.
Anyway, 1 second. Okay, so I was just describing that was the for the wagons. Okay.
And they send wagon trails to you.
Anyway, we're Pasuk Lamed Beis. Karo Shlomo. Amudei.
Amudei, Chatzer, Savi, V'Yanehem, Yetetotam, U'Meiterehem, Necha, Kleihem, U'Necha, Avratam, V'Shemot, Tifkudu, Klei, Mishmer, Masan. So the stand, the poles, the standards, the colors of the courtyard,
all around,
and their silver, the
Foundation.
sockets.
The sockets.
Actually, these weren't the silver ones; these were copper ones.
They're the sockets and their holders.
Yeah, but we say there's some their pegs.
Their pegs. And their
Meisrehem and their tying ropes.
And the ropes and all the various
for all
pots
their,
and pans and whatever they
for all their vessels, for the
vessels, all
right.
the vessels,
utensils, and for all their
and their work.
Right, for all their work, right? For all that was required for the work.
For their
V'shemois tifkedu. And you shall point by name.
You will point by name.
As Kalei Mishmeres Masam, all the utensils for the
that you have to guard
for the duties, for the carrying duties.
Oh.
Okay, now Rashi's got to point at like a somewhat seeming contradiction in the pasuk. Here it says that the Gershonites, they had the job. So the Bnei Merari, the sons of Merari, they had the job of carrying the Yesedos and Meisreya, and the Meisorim. Okay? Now if you go back, Gershon seemed to have that job.
They were fighting on the jobs.
Different unions.
Eis Meisreya was called Kli Havedosam. Go back to Chavkov. It says, Eis Kalei HaChotzer v'smosah Pasach Shach HaChotzer Shach HaChotzer Eis Meisrehem was called Kli Havedosam. That's mashma, that was the job of the Gershonites. So who had the job?
The guy who got there first.
Oh, so that's what Rashi's saying, that's what Rashi's going to dwell on. Look at the Rashi in on the base.
Okay. V'yet katotem u'meitreihem. Shel amudim v'shaharei.
Shel amudim. So Rashi says.
Shel amudim of the pillars.
Shahari Yesedos.
That behold.
Okay, Shahari because.
Oh, this must be a split here. Yetedot.
U'meisrei haklaim. B'masah b'nei Gershon hayu.
Okay, and they were
in the carrying job of the sons of Gershon. Now, that's what Rashi points out. That the job of the sons, even though it mentions Yesedos and Meisreihem, Eis Meisreihem, there's called Kli Havedosam, which is mentioned by the sons of Bnei Gershon. Those were the tying ropes which held the actual cloths, the drapes of the enclosure. In other words, of the Mishkan itself, for sure that was the job of Bnei Gershon. But it says even of the hangings which, of this material which enclosed the entire courtyard.
right.
So they had those hangings, in order to be held down, they shouldn't flap in the wind. They had pegs and tying ropes. Okay, and here we're talking about the pillars. In other words, what held up all these drapes, these hangings which were all around the Chotzer? What held it up? They were held up by pillars. Okay?
Right.
What held the pillars in position? Also tying ropes. So those tying ropes...
And they were tied to the peg.
Right. Those tying ropes and pegs were carried by the sons of Merari, and the ropes and the pegs which held the actual drapes themselves down and shouldn't flap in the wind, that was carried by the sons of Gershon. That's basically what I have to say here. This is Yesedos u'meisreim shel amudim, of the pillars. Shal Yesedos u'meisrei hakloim, like the pegs and the ropes of the hangings, b'masah b'nei Gershon hayu. They were in the carrying job of the sons of Gershon. Yesedos u'mesorim hayu le'eriyos v'la'kloim milamata shel tabiyem oruach. So the Rashi goes now is elaborating a little bit. He's saying that the pegs and ropes were of the hangings, these cloths which were enclosing the courtyard. Right, they had tying ropes below, that the wind shouldn't blow them. The Yesedos u'mesorim hayu la'amudim soviv, and there were tying pegs and tying ropes were for the pillars all around. Litlos bahem hakloim, misfasel, to be able to attach the hangings on the edge. Vesfasel alyona b'klunsois, with sticks, the kundasim and hooks. So Rashi says that the pillars had little hooks coming out of them, attached to them sticks, and the sticks were held down in position by these ropes. And on to these like sticks across bars, on that was hung these hangings which enclosed the courtyard. Okay. We're going to make a little bit of a jump over here because the next Rashi is on Pasuk Mem Zayin. Let's jump to Pasuk Mem Vov.
כל אף הקודם אשר פקד משה ואהרון ונשיא ישראל
Halevi.
which was in the place of all the charges, all the instructions,
All the counted ones.
all the counting ones. Asher Kotad Moshe,
And Aaron, which Moshe and Aaron, which Moshe counted with Aaron, and Yisrael and the princes of Israel, Es Halevim Levim, and Mishpachosam by their families, Leveis Avos, and by their father's houses. And what was that? Ben Shloshim Shana V'Malo. Carry on the next passage.
Ben Shloshim Shana from 30 years and up, and then Kamishim to 50 years. Avodas Masor Ba'olamai. All those who came,
Right?
so
To carry out, to work. Avodas Avodah
Avodas of the work
of the work.
oh yeah, well why take
So Rashi's going to explain what that means.
okay.
Avodas Masa, and the work of carrying in the tent of meeting.
Masor Ba'ohel, why in maybe it should be the tent of meeting. But
But why is it in the tent? I don't know. It could be we're talking about they carried the kalim.
he says Avodas Avodah to
Rashi says, who
Hashir.
shir b'mitzaltayim v'chinarois.
What is this? Feed mine.
This was the song of the
This is the singing the mitzaltayim, which actually means the music. The mitzaltayim are cymbals, kinarot, and
trumpets.
no, it's
violin.
what do you call it? Violin or harp.
Don't harp on
She avoida la'avoda acheres means this was an auxiliary job for another avoda. Meaning, when was the
carrying was one thing, and
what he means as follows.
and the
When they
singing
brought
was
the korbanos, the Kohanim brought the korbanos, at that time, at that point, that was when the Leviim would play their instruments and sing. So there wasn't stunned, they didn't just give a concert ad hoc, right? It was only at specific times that they sing and play their instruments. That was when they were offering the sacrifices. So to accompany the offering of the sacrifices, that's when they would sing and play music.
That was another avodah.
So that was avoda, a service for another service. It means it was an auxiliary service. It wasn't a service in itself. The whole purpose of the service was to act as shall we say, I call it an auxiliary service to the main service of offering the sacrifices. Okay?
Without the main service, they didn't have any function.
I don't know what you mean by auxiliary. Auxiliary means that they didn't need them all the time.
What I meant is it's an accompanying service to the main service.
It makes sense. No main service, no accompaniment.
Right, meaning so there was no sacrifices, then there's no music and singing.
Oh, that they accompanied the
work.
singing to, when they came up with the trumpets and everything, when they put the
They
sacrifice.
only played the music and sang when they were offering the
So they
sacrifices.
accompanied that.
Whatever.
What we're saying, there was an avodah of movement, transportation, and then there was a avodah of
The chayra, this is what we're discussing in the pasuk is this is what was.
Taken down.
Oh no, you're right. Okay, this is when the Mishkan was standing. They had a job of playing music and singing. And when the Mishkan was traveling, their job was to carry the
assemble this is
right. That's what Rashi says. Avodas masa. Rashi means kamashmo, as it means literally. Okay.
Can I make a point?
Jackie just went.
Can I question?
Yes.
Mentioned about the Levi'im,
Yes.
30 to 50.
Yes.
I have an objection to that because I'm a pensioner.
So
Right.
what's
So
the
I'll tell you what. So
What's the
I'll
past 50?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Levy?
And he had 50
No,
on the
no. A very important point. Levim still had a responsibility to help over 50. You know what that was? That was also training the Levim and also to act as guard duty. Right? And maybe help in the singing.
By the way,
So I just want to know why they put it on the tip. Why were they put on the tip? Why were they put on the tip after 50? They were no longer
because they were not in their physical pride anymore.
Yeah, but they still did very important work.
It's English.
We're not denying that. By the way, this...
You mean they got a tip?
Excuse me, this job between, this stipulation between 30 and 50 was only when they carried the Mishkan in the desert. Afterwards, when they came to Beis HaMikdash, there was no age limit.
So they counted...
There was no age limit to the Levim. They could carry on to...
Because
They didn't carry out.
they didn't have this heavy work anymore.
Right?
but they did work like training, the teaching, and
No,
Christmas
they
making
did.
the service.
And also the guard duty and the singing and the playing the instruments and everything like that. That was all their job.
So the different families kind of melded together because they didn't have any tradition anymore. It wasn't like the families that made the spices. That family lasted forever, and they tried to copy it and they couldn't.
Okay, let's continue.
They didn't away from the family.
1 second. Yaakov, don't run away.
Yaakov,
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, Robert.
Yaakov, you lost your place again?
Sorry. I don't believe being put on the tip. We are some use.
Why was that put on the tip and not to do with
I
that?
don't know, I'm not speaking.
We're on the rubbish sheet. We're no longer.
It's from coal country.
Oh, I understand that.
Tip full of rubbish. It's like we've reached our when you get a food and it's got the date or what you're eating there. What do you call it? Consumption date.
Right.
I was speaking. Yeah. Sorry. No, I was defending. I was defending our role in, after 50 we're...
I tell you that,
I speak on your behalf.
That if you have to defend it,
pension is
you've already
international.
lost.
That's right. Defending our cause, Stephen. You're very much older than me, but...
Nobody's here is about 50, so I'm about to tell you.
No!
It's all on your mind, sir.
You lie.
We said it.
That's why the guy tried to run me over today.
It was 48.
Hell,
48, not 48.
But the guy dragged down the truck.
Like you, but...
Can you sit down?
Yes, can we have a...
Yeah, why don't you go sit down and get this rubber sheet?
So forget the rubbish.
Right.
This is all being recorded.
Oh dear!
Disgusting things that I said over the thing.
Okay, Pasuk 48. No.
Like you put their hand, even those that were counted of their work,
Right, you put them, and the total, the counted ones were...
Shemanat Elafim, 8,000, Ramesh Me'ot Ushmonim, and 580. Al Pi Adonai, according to the command of the Lord, Hakad Otam, they were appointed, Yad Moshe, by the hand of Moshe, Ish Al Avodato, everyone to the service, the whole his task,
and his carrying job.
And his carrying job of Kadav, and they were counted or numbered. Asher Shiva Adonai et Moshe. Right, so.
Hashem had commanded Moshe.
Right.
Okay, let's see Rashi. There's one small
Of
Rashi.
Kadav, Asher Shiva Hashem et Moshe. And they were
Those
numbered.
those counted ones
Were.
are you the mitzvah ben shloshim ben chamishim. Those counted ones were those who between 30
and 50 years
Only
old.
those were counted.
Right.
Now, I just want to tell you a very interesting mathematical point. I think I missed the newsletter for this week. Anyway, I was going to put in the newsletter this thing. What was the average age of the Levites? I'll tell you. Sorry, lifespan, not average age.
Quite old, because he must be very old because he didn't snip the golden calf.
50 to 60.
So I'll tell you an interesting thing. Look at what it says over here. Those between 30 and 50, 20 year span, totaled 8,580. That means in each...
12,000.
What's that? No. 8,580. You know a little bit of maths here? Over 20 years.
8,000.
That means how many were in each year? Each year group? 8,580 divided by 20.
Right, 8,500 divided by 20 would be
450.
1,000. No.
450, say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
No, I'm
Which one did
okay.
you go to? Did you do 11 plus?
450 roughly. 20. You said 20.
8580.
Oh, 8,581 by 20. So that's be 400 and not 450. Something
It'll
like
be
that.
400.
429.
Right.
Exactly. 8580
All right.
divided by, it's 420. There were 429 in each
Yeah.
year, shall we say, on average.
Right.
Okay? How many Levim were there altogether? Only last week's parsha we learned 22,300.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of simple calculation. 22,300 divided by 429, and I was shocked. Because you know what you get to? 52.
Oh, 52.
Unless they didn't last much.
Which means the average age, lifespan of a Levi was only 52 years.
I raise a silly question.
Now what happened?
Rabbi, I raise a silly question that at the time of the sin of the golden the sin of the spies, excuse me,
Yeah.
none of the Levim were involved in not the spies and whatever.
Golden calf, you're right.
Yeah, the golden calf. So I would have thought automatically they would have lived a long life. Right. So
you are asking a question that's what Rashi asked in Parshas Pinchas.
yes.
In Parshas Pinchas it says, how many Levim were there? 23,000.
Right.
And here was 22,300. So ask Rashi, 1 second. If none of the Levim died, the adult Levim between 20 and 60
How
died
come?
in the desert, why didn't they increase? Because Rashi himself asked the question. Rashi says that
Did they not procreate?
they did.
Yeah,
They were overworked with all the carrying.
maybe
Not quite.
maybe you don't count
They had a
once you-
dangerous job.
unless you work.
They had a dangerous job.
Oh, it's
Wow.
it's like window cleaning on the 6th floor
Something like that. Not quite.
without a net.
But Hashem protects you against if you're doing God's work. You know, he wouldn't have let
No,
them
no,
get
he
on.
doesn't protect you here. He gives you closer to home.
Well, that's the rabbi. Don't ask me. Look at me.
I'm looking at you. You made a statement. I made another statement. You're looking for protection.
Well, you're doing Hashem's work.
If you want protection, buy an insurance policy.
You know where Rashi says, I can't find it here.
There's no
Rashi
protection.
says
I
that the
was gonna go over.
Oron, since their job was to carry the Oron, right, it was a dangerous job.
It protected them. The ark
right.
didn't have to
You
carry.
did that.
The ark didn't carry anything, did it? Didn't weigh anything. So what's it? I don't understand why you
It
say
was a
that.
dangerous job.
Hey, what? Hashem looked
It
after
wasn't
you.
a physically dangerous job.
Oh,
It was a spiritually dangerous job.
Yeah.
you're defending whoever it's defending. I think it's wrong. You should be
If you pick
protected.
up the ark, then you get
Well,
zapped or something like that. You have
Right,
to carry
exactly.
yourself.
If they had the wrong, they came at the wrong
The wrong
time to carry the ark,
covenant. The wrong covenant.
right, they got zapped.
Right. So it was a very
Okay,
dangerous
that's what it
job.
is. That's why
Don't sit
they,
here.
It wasn't
your
an excuse
views?
me zap, it was a lethal zap.
right.
So there. They didn't give you a second chance to do it again.
You're biased.
Well, I mean, that's what they said. So anyway, so 52 years, but actually, I think it's probably has occurred because as you got older, you got a little bit, you weren't as sharp.
That's not true because
You
they
mean it went the other way? I mean, you got
between
you looked experienced.
1350 they were out in the prime.
Right, but don't you think there was a little, like,
It's a risky
a
job.
little bit, it kind of wasn't so...
It's a risky job being a Levi, isn't it?
Yes.
We're enjoying your income.
You're doing things
Are you a Levi?
No.
Join my
Doing for Shemayim.
join my first.
Choice is the income.
I think it's time to stand
He says, I hope you
to
have
speak.
Well, I tell you, we really don't run a lot today.
enough.
Particularly when you're in the class.
You're very biased, Steve.